Hello, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Northumberland. Daytime session today. We've come up to Newbiggin, up round, well, we started off on Poor Man's Haven, then we're going to move on to Dulce as the tide drops. Daytime session, always going to be a bit tougher, but it's not looking too bad, is it?
No, it's not bad at all. The sea certainly lifted a little bit. It's conditions are a little bit better than what we thought when we landed here. Southerly winds certainly lifted the seas a bit, so yep, we've just got to give it a go and see where we get on. Yeah,
Definitely. There's loads of colour in the water. The sea's been, we've had nearly roughly a fortnight of good seas. So there's a lot of colour, and it's just starting to lift there a little bit, as Gary says, and it's fairly overcast, which has got to be a good thing for a daytime session as well, hasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
So we did fish the West End Pipe a couple of weeks ago, and it was pretty dire, wasn't it?
Yeah, very much so, yeah. But that's fishing.
It is, and what we've decided we're going to do, we're just going to keep moving up the coast each time we fish and make a video, and I think we're just going to bring to you the realities of sea angling in whatever shape or form that takes. If we're blank, we'll make a video and show you a bit of Northumberland anyway, and hopefully we can catch something though.
Yeah.
So, right, fingers crossed. That looked like a slightly better knock as well. Just had what looked like not a bad bite. Need to get some steady footing first, I think. A lot of slack line. Could have been a lobster, like. Couple of little taps, but missed it, I think. No, missed it. Oh well, first cast at the bite at least.
Well, today, rod selection or tackle selection I've gone for. So I've got my Century Tornado out there. I paired that up with a Penn Spin Fisher. That's loaded up with about, I think it's about 70-pound braid, 80-pound braid straight through. On the end, because I'm fishing rough ground, really simple, just a simple pulley rig, minimum components, because I am expecting to lose gear. One big hook on the end, I think it's a 5/0 chinu. And then a lump of crab on the end of that. So hopefully a nice cod will come along and grab it, and we'll get it nice for the camera.
Same as Gary, I've just gone for a pulley. I've put a gripper on this time, just I'm not really sure what the ground's like out there, but I might switch to a plane if it's too heavy. 6/0 Viking. Pennel setup, that's just a good lump of carp wing, little rotten bottom on the end there. It's about, I don't know, 4 foot, 80-pound rig body, 50-pound hook length. So got the first cast out. Gary's had a couple of taps, but I think what we're probably going to do, because it's a really big tide today, it's about a 0.87 ebb, and we can tell there's already a bit of white water here in a few ways, so it is a little bit shallow, but we're going to have this cast, unless we get something, we're going to have this cast, get over onto Dulce and get out in a bit deeper water. So we've shifted from Poor Man's, we're onto Dulce now, and we're both saying it looks pretty mint, to be fair.
Yep, so it's a really nice sea coming in now. There's got to be something out there. I know this would arguably fish a lot better at night, as Northumberland con fishing does, but there's got to be something out here today, surely. And I think David might have just had a bit of a rattle there.
definitely something at a little inquiry. Got a feeling the ground here is heavier than what it was over there. See a lot of the kelp starting to appear now. Oh well, nothing. But yeah, it looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks very, very good, yeah. It's a nice sea coming in now, so yeah. Good tide.
It's got quite a few of the right ingredients to hopefully produce something. There's definitely a bit more depth out here off the front of the cars than where we were before. It was starting to empty out quite quickly, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I just want to say thanks to Bedlington Sea Angling Club. Drop them a message on Instagram, because we've both fished here, but it was years ago and memory's a bit hazy, so they were very kind, very helpful, gave Will a few tips, so thanks a lot. See, they've been getting some cracking weigh-ins recently. I'm sure there'll be a few fish tomorrow in the open.
Well, if this sea holds like this and it gets a chance to develop and push some fish in, yeah, you know, you would like to think that would be a good weigh-in tomorrow.
Yeah, there'll be a big one out somewhere.
Oh, there's got to be. Law of averages says, sea like this, good tide, that many people fishing, somebody somewhere's got to get a good one out tomorrow.
Right, definitely, definitely. Right, let's get this next rig baited up. See what we can do.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing with this next rig, I'm going to just pile a big crab and carp bait on, and I think I'm just going to go for a big bait and just let it soak out there for a good length of time, and hopefully anything swimming past on that tide can pick it up. As we were saying before, there looks to be a decent amount of depth off here, and at the minute the tide's ebbing, so it's going that way, and I think with the depth there should be plenty of movement as well as this southerly, so hopefully we can get a couple of big baits out there and pick something up. Right, this one's been in about 20 minutes or so. Just to get it moving, it's going to be getting it through that kelp. That's going to be the problem, which is closer in, but it seems to be coming in all right. There's definitely a lot more depth out there. Bait's absolutely, hook's absolutely bare, totally stripped, aye. God, I'm out of breath. Get this big crab and carp bait out. I was just saying to Gary before that I'm going to put it a touch to the left, because there's a big bay in here and it does look a bit deeper, and that southerly southeasterly might hopefully just be pushing something in there, so let's have a look. As I say, I'm just going to put this a touch further to the left. Going for a 7-ounce centre on this one. Right, quite happy with where that's gone. Well, we're on to a second cast here. Got about 15 minutes or so before low water. We haven't had a touch yet, but it certainly looks good, and that wind has forecast really picked up now. It must be at least sort of, I don't know, 25. It's due to get up to about 30, so but you never know, once the tide starts to start flooding from the north, things might change, so keep going. I think there is a knock on there actually. I finally had a bite. Saw that knock a couple of times there and then it's just gone quiet. I'm gonna wait. Missed it. It's definitely a knock. Hook length snapped off. Definitely saw a couple of bites like, but never mind. Right, well, just saying to Gary before there's a slightly calmer bit here where the southerly's pushing into this bay. So I'm just going to chuck this one maybe 40-50 yards close in and see if there's anything hanging around a bit closer. That's very close. Probably a little bit closer than what I wanted, to be totally honest. As you can see, this is typical of the kind of ground we've got up here, just really thick kelp, but that's where the fish are, so especially during the day anyway. It's different at night, but you just got to get your bait in it and just be prepared to lose a bit of gear. Well, we're about 45 minutes into the flood now. The tide's definitely starting to push. We've got to be a little bit careful on here because the water comes in behind it quite quickly. So we might get another cast or two on here. It's been pretty dead, to be fair. Well, very dead. I've had one or two rattles, but other than that, it's been a typical northeast cod, daytime cod session really, but hopefully the flood will push something in. It looks, conditions don't look bad at all, but it's just been pretty quiet. This cast I've got in is probably 30 yards off the end, right into the heavy kelp. Been putting it a bit further out and there was nothing, so I thought I'd have a bit of a shorter chuck.
Well, it's not going very well, to say the least. So, good tide, perfect conditions really for the sea state, but there's not a lot happening here, that's for sure. So, I don't know, we're just going to keep soldiering on. We haven't got very long left on this mark. The tide will eventually push her off, and I have got caught out on this mark before, a long time ago. If it wasn't for two kids coming on here, soaking wet and then quiet out, they got in here and they said they swam across, then my heart sank. I very nearly got caught out on here. So, but yeah, so we're going to get off here, probably try somewhere else, just keep plugging away and just see if we can get a fish.
Right, tide's beginning to push very quickly now. See, it's starting to already kind of come in on both sides, so I think we might be, to be absolutely safe, we're probably going to have one cast, but I do not want to be taking any chances, so I've been eyeing this little bay up for a while all day. It's slightly calmer. I've got a feeling that, well, the tide, well, until recently the tide was pushing it until it's turned. Tide will be coming this way, but there's been a bit of southeasterly pushing into this area all day, so I'm just going to get one out. I don't want to go too far with it. We'll just get that one there. As I say, I've got a feeling this could be the last. So as you can see, tide's starting to creep in behind. It's coming in from the right here, from the left over there. So we're going to have these cast and then get off safe. So being pushed off Dulce cars, we're back onto Poor Man's Haven. Tide's absolutely racing in. Don't know how long we're going to get on here, so I'm just going to opt for a really big wing and frozen crab bait, get it out there. And even if it means this is the last 20 minutes, half an hour, there's a big lump of bait out there, so let's get it out there, see what we can do. Well, tide's flooding in quite quickly now. You can see there it's coming in between where Gary's about to walk over. It's been tough today and disappointing, being completely honest. I think we both thought we'd have something, even if it was just a collie or something small. Conditions look pretty good, but it's been tough. But that's fishing, unfortunately, especially cod fishing in the daylight as well.
There's slack line there.
They're not there. I did see the rod move, but I'm not sure if it was a wave. Well, yeah, I think that's more or less the end of what's been a pretty challenging day.
It has indeed. Conditions were good, really, considering. Nice big tide, but it wasn't to be. No fish, nothing, no bites, no rattles, no nothing. So I must admit I've lost the will to live. To be honest with you. The San Miguel in the fridge is looking far more appealing, if I'm going to be honest with you. So I think we're going to call it a day.
That's going to be my strategy as well. Yeah. But that's the harsh reality of daytime fishing for cod, really, isn't it?
It is.
Sometimes
hit and miss.
Yeah. Sometimes you get them, other times you don't. Did look promising today. Loads of colour, big tide, decent bit of movement, but it wasn't to be. So at least you've hopefully seen one or two marks in Northumberland, and next time we'll try and catch some fish.
Yep, so, absolutely.
As always, thanks for watching. Tight lines, keep fishing. We'll see you on the next one.